Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, Secretary General of the Regional Meeting, ILO Director General Guy Ryder, distinguished delegates of the employers and workers, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tomoko Nishimoto, ILO Assistant Director General and the Regional Director for Asia and the Pacific. As such, it is my honor to declare open the 16th Asia and the Pacific Regional Meeting of the ILO, taking place at this Nusa Dua Conference Center in Bali. Before setting the meeting in motion, and on behalf of the ILO, I should like to express our deep gratitude to the government of Indonesia for hosting this important meeting. In particular, I'd like to thank the government for being so generous with its time in helping with preparations and for working so closely with our regional office in Bangkok and our country office in Jakarta. We are also very grateful to His Excellency Vice President Yusuf Kala of Indonesia, who has agreed to grace this conference and address the delegates. We have more than 460 tripartite delegates and partners here today, including key policy and decision makers from throughout our region. I can sense how eager you are to start the work of this meeting and begin discussions on the important world of work issues on our agenda. The next 4 days will bring very many interesting and fruitful discussions, and I look forward to taking part.
أصحاب المعالي,
Excellencies, dear participants, greetings to you and may God's blessings be upon you. I am Ruba Jaradat. I have the honor of directing the ILO Regional Office for the Arab States, which is based in Beirut. And on behalf of the member states from the Arab countries, I wish also to welcome all present and to thank the hosting country, Indonesia, for the support it has provided in preparing for this meeting. The regional meeting 5 years ago in Kyoto had to deal with a lot of political demonstrations in the Middle East and in Asia, and we decided in Kyoto to put the decent work into the core of our mandate, and we would like to ensure full employment and decent work for all. This regional meeting is an opportunity to value and appreciate our work, what we have achieved, and to see the current trends in order to ensure a better future, one that is more fair in Asia and the Pacific. And many countries in the Arab region are witnessing wars and where the workers' rights have been neglected. And this is a great opportunity to discuss how can we put the workers and the labor issues in the core of social development. And this is also an opportunity to develop labor relationships between the Arab states and the Asia and Pacific. And I am looking forward to working with you, and I'm wishing all us great results that would guide the ILO's work in Asia and the Pacific for the next 5 coming years.
The first task before you this afternoon is the election of the chairperson of the 16th Asia and the Pacific Regional Meeting. May I open the floor for nominations? I recognize the government representative of the Islamic Republic of Iran. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you. It is my pleasure to propose the candidature of Mr. Hanif Zakeri, Minister of Manpower of Indonesia, as chairperson of the 16th Asia and the Pacific Regional Meeting. I wish him every success in this position.
The candidature of Mr. Hanif Dakili, Minister of Manpower of the Republic of Indonesia, has been proposed on behalf of the whole government group. Is this proposal supported by the employers and workers? I give the floor to Mr. Haryadi Sukamdani on behalf of the employers group. Thank you. I now give the floor to Mr. Felix Anthony on behalf of the workers' group.
Madam Chair. Do I? Yes, the workers' group would support the nomination.
Thank you. I therefore take this proposal meets with the unanimous support of the meeting. Oh, okay. I give the floor to Mr. Cameron of the Employers Group.
Thank you, Chair. The Employers Group wishes to endorse the nomination of His Excellency Mr. Hanif Dakiri, Minister of Manpower of the Republic of Indonesia. I also wish to express our deep appreciation to the Government of Indonesia for organizing and hosting the 16th Asia Pacific Regional Meeting in this beautiful island of Bali. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, I repeat. May I therefore take it that this proposal meet with the unanimous support of the meeting? So decided. I therefore have great pleasure in declaring His Excellency Minister Hanif Dakili, Chairperson of the 16th Asia and the Pacific Regional Meeting of the International Labour Organization. I offer him my warmest congratulations and invite him to come up and take the chair on the podium.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Nishimoto, and all the government workers and employers group for supporting me as the chairperson of this conference. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Your Excellencies, Ministers, Director General of the International Labour Organization, Mr. Guy Ryder, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the government of the Republic of Indonesia, I wish to say what a great pleasure it gives me to welcome you to the 16th Asia and the Pacific Regional Meeting of the International Labour Organization and to Denpasar, Bali. My gratitude goes to all three groups, government, employers, and workers, for electing me as chairperson of this important meeting. It is a great honor for the government of the Republic of Indonesia and a particular privilege for me as Minister of Manpower of Indonesia. I wish to extend my sincerest thanks to you all. Before moving to the substance of this opening sitting, the rules for regional meetings 2008, which govern our procedures, impose a certain number of administrative tasks on us. This includes the appointment of one vice chairperson of the meeting from each of the three groups, the adoption of the professional program, the establishment of a credential committee, as well as the constitution of a drafting committee on the conclusion of the meeting. We shall now move to the appointment of the vice chairperson of the meeting. The group have discussed this question and have already provided the Secretariat with their nominees. I therefore give the floor to Mr. Juan Leobrera, the clerk of the meeting, who will read out the proposals from the three groups for the three vice chairpersons of the meeting.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. The following names have been submitted in respect of the three Vice Chairpersons. The Government Vice Chairpersons is Mr. Jamil Humaydan, Minister of Labour and Social Development of the Kingdom of Bahrain. The Employer Vice Chairperson is Mr. Hariyandi Sukamdani from Apindo, Indonesia. And for the Worker Vice Chairperson, the name of Mr. Naoto Omi, General Secretary of the Japanese Trade Union Confederation from Japan. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Juan. If there are no objections, may I take it that these proposals adopted? Well, thank you. My congratulations to the vice chairpersons. I am sure that we can look forward to a high level of cooperation between the groups. May I invite the vice chairpersons to come up and take their places on the podium. Sir, thank you. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the groups have also appointed other officers of the regional meeting, and you will see that the names of the persons that have been nominated are displayed on the screen on both sides of the podium. My congratulations to them all. Our first task is the adoption of our professional program. You will all have had time to study this document, which set out the timetable for our work in detail. It carries reference APRM number 16/D.3 ref. May I take it that the professional program of the 16th Asia and the Pacific regional meeting is adopted? Any objections? Well, I see no objection. Thank you very much. We are now called on to appointment our credentials committee, which consists of one delegate from each of the three groups, as set out in Article 9 of the rules. Again, the group have considered the composition of this committee and have provided their nomination to the clerk. and the names of the person concerned are being displayed on the screens. If there are no objections, may I assume these proposals are adopted? Well, thank you. Many congratulations to all the appointed members of the committee. Well, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize that I have to delegate this chairmanship for this meeting to the Minister of Minister Humaidan as the Vice Chairperson of this conference, since myself and the DG ILO, will welcome the Vice President that are coming right now. Please, sir.
حضرة الأخوة والأخوات السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أولاً
We would like to greatly thank you for having elected me Vice Chair of this conference. God's willing, we will be at the level of the confidence you have put in me. Now, the question to deal with is
لجنة الصياغة
appointing the members of the drafting committee. Any proposals?
Thank you, Chairperson. The chairperson of the meeting, Mr. Dakiri, also requested us from the podium to call on the regional meetings to observe a minute of silence to pay tribute to the memory of His Majesty late King Bhumibol from Thailand, who died on 13th of October this year. So, on your behalf, could we ask all participants to stand for a moment of silence, please?